Hello and welcome in. I am MissKinghorn and we are back here in The Sims 4 and we are building with the brand new pack Businesses and Hobbies. Yeah, so here we are. This is my first build with it. I literally got the game, downloaded it, put it in and then went straight into build mode. So at this point when I'm building it, I really don't have too much more of a clue as to, obviously I've seen all the live streams, I've seen some early access, but I don't necessarily know too much about the game or how to run a business. I think I'm way too much of a builder, so I've just been looking at like the build by items, the world overview, that sort of thing. The world is absolutely gorgeous. I think I should probably say that first. However, here I actually play tested this at the end, and I actually run the business for about 4 days, 4 days, and it rained, it was cloudy, it was, yeah, every single day. So I kind of get it. It's based off of like Sweden, Norway, Denmark, so I imagine it is kind of going to be a little bit colder, a little bit more kind of cloudy, but yeah, I didn't have any good sort of shots for any of this, and that's why it appears quite dark here. I did try to go through and find the best lighting options, but honestly, yeah, this is pretty much as good as it got for me in here. But what we're building right now is a small little kind of bakery along with what actually turns out to be a 3-bedroom house. Yeah, at the moment what you're looking at here, it's gonna say change as I go later on. So I realise that I need more room, and it didn't really make much sense to have just the bakery, this sort of section just single level. I actually wanted to go up above and have another bedroom, so that's kind of what we did in the end. But what you're seeing here is all of the exterior. Now I love this pink, I have to be honest. So when this pack came out, and beforehand, I kind of knew that we were getting the sort of sweets and the kind of sweet shop candy kind of area, and I thought it's gonna be perfect. Pink, kind of very bubblegum, very much kind of ultra, kind of very much in your face kind of thing. And so that's kind of what I set out. I already knew what I wanted to build, and yet here we are. Very, very pink, and I've got to be honest, the pink rolls on inside as well. So if you're not a lover of pink, this probably isn't a build for you, I have to be honest. But yeah, I actually had quite a lot of fun building this. This video is a little bit all over the place, and I apologise for that for 2 reasons. One, I worked out I've been building with Better Build By for way too long, and yeah, forgot that the cheats weren't on. So I had to find all of those, and then a lot of the new items aren't tagged properly, so I basically went backwards and forwards trying to find them, because from all of the early access I kind of knew what was in the game, but what I'm seeing wasn't here, and so yeah, it proved a little bit of a challenge, I've got to be honest, but in the end I got there, and yeah. Second of all, I managed to damage my arm middle of all of this, so I'm in a lot of pain right now as I am doing all of this. So yeah, I'm not working at my best, let's put it that way in here, but we are working still on the exterior, so using mostly new items. There are a few other things from other packs, some of the plants, some of the window boxes are from other packs as well. These picnic benches out here I thought would be perfect on like a little patio area for so actually in the bakery we do obviously have all of like the sweets. We have some like pies, we have bread, we have that sort of thing in there as well. But we also have like the new kind of coffee espresso bar thing, and I thought that would be really perfect in here. You can kind of, we'll use it as a bit like a kind of a till counter. So I kind of put that in there, and then realised actually what I was doing was selling more coffee than I was cakes. when I was playing this, so I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, really. But yeah, we have obviously that nice little outdoor seating area in here, and now you can see I am adding this up to the next level because I thought it looked just a little bit weird only having a single level, especially when a lot of the kind of builds around it are like 2-3 story high. It didn't make a lot of sense to have just a 1-story kind of build or part of it, so I decided to kind of change it all up, and yeah, here we go. So I'm trying to get this chimney in, and it just does not work for me. In the end, I managed to just place the actual chimney stack here, just on the top of the roof, and I think that works a little bit better than actually having like a raised up chimney in there. But yeah, more windows. As per usual, I only show you the front of the build. The back is all kind of detailed, and we'll get into like the garden aspect later on, because I do kind of create a little bit of a private little space for them out there as well. But now we're going to be working on the pink bakery. So as I say, British sales. I'm putting out lots of the new items in here as well. I don't necessarily know how they would all kind of work together at this stage, and I do actually place this big shelving unit backwards. I don't really necessarily know why. I kind of looked at it and thought, well, it needs to have the doors on the front so that the customers can get their own. It turns out it has to be the other way around. Yeah, I change it when I actually open the store and realise that people can't use it. But yeah, it was a little bit of a strange one in there. And I am also using the new bonus items, which yeah, I'm not a great lover of those. I think I've said this several times over. They're nice pieces, and I don't think I would be able to really run like or have this bakery kind of cake shop, kind of sweet shop without it. It just didn't really feel like it worked without it. But I also feel like I shouldn't have to run, like, to get the bonus items to be able to run this. So you do have one from Get to Work as well, but obviously trying to use as many items from the new pack as possible in here. And I get out what I think is like a cake stand, but it actually turns out it's like a mushroom kind of thing. It's one of the new pottery items. I try to use as much from this new pack as I like possibly can, and I think I can do it okay, but there is obviously items from other packs, and I purposely do try to use as much as I can from here, but obviously clutter wise and things like that in here. So we have 2 of the new kind of sweet candy makers, and then I also have popcorn. I regret putting the popcorn in. So playtesting, when I was actually kind of creating all of the food to go in here, and I actually did that all by hand, rather than like treating it with like debug or anything like that. I find that the popcorn, it splits it into individual bowls. So where you were like creating 8 of a certain product, you were having 8 individual bowls rather than like 4 lollipops on a stand together where they can buy them individually. It just made it a little bit more difficult. So I actually didn't end up selling any popcorn, but guests or customers can just walk around the back there and they were just helping themselves. Really annoying. To put it mildly, it was a little bit annoying, but yeah, we figured that one out in the end, and placing a few little details around the walls in here as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting and a little bit more kind of different. And these sort of gorgeous pink kind of like ferns and leaves on the wall. I don't actually know where that comes from, and I don't think I've ever like used it. I think maybe like once or twice, but like I kind of forgot we had it. But I thought, given the fact it is pink, given the fact that it kind of works, I'm going for it in here. So as I said earlier, I wanted this to be very kind of like bubblegum, very pink, very kind of in your face, very kind of out there. And that's kind of what I was going for this. But also in the aspect of kind of very modern, but yet also very kind of classy kind of build. So I hope that kind of comes through with what I'm trying to do here. I do have lots of clutter on the back here. I do change up and don't clutter the kitchen so much when it actually comes to the house in here, but I kind of go a little bit OTT out here. Very pink, lots and lots of pink throughout this build, as you would probably expect. In here, lots of bits and pieces that are all kind of like cake or business related, so like the jam from the waffles and things like that, little canisters of different things. We also have this little pen set in like the little cups. I'm not sure whether they're like paintbrushes or what they really are, but I thought they worked out there really nicely on that sort of little counter kind of coffee bar area in there. I figured that it would be like where they would have the till and you would like where you would go pay, because there is no actual like way they pay. They don't like go up and like tap their card or their phone or whatever in here. They kind of just give you the money, which kind of makes sense, but it also kind of doesn't. In a way, it doesn't feel very realistic. But obviously this is The Sims in here. Now we are moving on to the kind of residential kitchen. Yes, I did try to get in the giant cupcake machine. No, it did not fit. I kind of forget how big that thing is, and kind of the fact that we don't even need it anymore. So I do get the waffle maker, I get the like food processor, and I get a kettle in here as well, just kind of for my own kind of personal gameplay. So this is all part of the residence. In here I have created like a little step up between the sort of linking door between the kitchen and the shop, and that is employees only. I do place some of the high school lockers so that it's kind of giving you the impression that like workers would come in and they would like hang their coats there or their bags or something like that. That's kind of what I was thinking with that little area in there, but then they don't like go into the shop or anything. And the family that I created for this was a mum, her teenage daughter and her child daughter. Now I employed her teenage daughter to actually work in the shop, which seems okay, and it did work. It also brought her home from school, which I kind of get in a way, but she's at school. She should really work like after school, was kind of what I wanted in my head, but you know, it is what it is. We got there in the end. So this is actually quite a small build. This is actually on a 20 by 20. Now I think it is the comfortably canal side 20 by 20 lot, which is in the Gammelvik. I am pronouncing that completely wrong. Do let me know how you pronounce it. I've heard so many different ways of pronouncing it that I'm not sure which one's right or which one's wrong. But let me know down there, which is kind of like the old town kind of area. It's very kind of stucco buildings, tall, like 2-3 stories high, lots of kind of old windows. Very me. So that's why I kind of wanted to build here straight away, and I did a lot of research of like Scandinavian kind of like old towns, like Stockholm, Copenhagen, kind of those, like the old parts of them, into there to kind of create this really nice little build. At least I think. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like this build, let me know. If you don't like this build, let me know. And what you would like to see. Any other kind of content? Do you have any kind of shop ideas, or kind of what else would you like to see with this build? Let me know. I do kind of envision doing another build in this world, which tends to be what I do. I do like maybe 2, possibly 3 builds in this world, and then I kind of take it out to other worlds. So yeah, we'll have to see what I come up with next. I I have so many ideas and there's so many different possibilities with this pack, which I absolutely love. However, as somebody who doesn't do too well when I have lots of different options and different choices, I don't really know what to do. I feel like I kind of spiral into, I'm gonna do this, and this, and then it all kind of goes round and round and I do nothing. I feel very much in that place at the moment. I feel like with this build, I had a plan, I knew what I was gonna do, I went straight in with it. I don't know what's coming next. I think is probably the best way to put it. I don't know what's coming next. For that one, you will have to subscribe to this channel and find out. Yeah, that's not a shameless plug at all, was it? Anyway, this sort of living kind of office area in here, I actually kind of really like. So because I wanted it to be for a family of 3, I figured just a couple of sort of a love seat and then a couple of sort of armchairs in here. I feel like they maybe don't spend too much time in this space. I've got a couple of bookshelves. I do also have like a little computer area in here as well, and then I figured a nice little play section of like toys and that just by the front door here, just to kind of give them, like, the kid something kind of to do in here, because I feel like she was kind of very forgotten with this build, and that really wasn't my intent. But there's not a lot for kids to do in this build, or in this sort of pack. I mean, there is a couple of like children's toys, but that's really it. So yeah, I just placed a couple of toys down here because I feel like maybe she's on her own a little bit, like she's kind of forgotten. Like the sort of mum and the teen are maybe making cakes, or they're working in the shop and she's just kind of sitting there going, I'll just play with my toys on my own, sort of thing, which kind of actually is a little bit realistic. So my parents bought a business when I was 13, so I kind of grew up pretty much on my own, kind of in that sort of sphere where I had to basically entertain myself for a little while, and although they were there, they're kind of not there. They're always busy, so that was something I tried to get in here as well with her. I do have the swing set, and upstairs we do place in the new stuffy toy, which I think is a nice little compromise in here. Now, it's at this point I realise I have enough room to do a 3-bedroom house. That's what we end up doing. So I created another child for this family in here. It was originally just going to be the 2 of them, but figured it would be too much space for 2. Now I have done a little bit of slicing and magic here, so you might have just noticed the garden wasn't done. I keep forgetting the back garden. This is something I have actually done in like the last 3 builds, I think. I do the back garden last, and then I kind of forget about it, and then I have to like slice it in where it makes sense. So I'm gonna try and remember to do all of the exterior like either first or where it makes sense, and not have to cut and slice it in. But yeah, I have done the back garden. It is in there. It is that nice little private sort of space out the back here, and I love the big pink fence that we got. We got that in an update not too long ago, I don't think. I think it was in like the big sort of recolor kind of refresh where everything from like base game had loads of new swatches. Yeah, it has a huge, nice big sort of pink swatch in there, which just worked perfectly in here as well. But we're now working on the mum's bedroom upstairs, which I thought was a nice kind of private, calm, chilled, grown-up space. There's no business, there's no kids, there's no nothing in here. I've kind of got a little collection of sort of houseplants in here, and I thought that maybe at the end of the day, as kind of a way to de-stress, she kind of comes up here, tends to the plants, she can sit down, read a book, and just relax. And I thought that worked in here really nicely for this build. And now we're working on the teenage bedroom. Now the teenage and the kids bedroom are actually the same size, really. I just kind of did them very differently in here. So we have got this big bed by, I think, came from Lovestruck, which I thought worked in here really well with like the colour scheme. I wanted this one a little bit darker, not necessarily gothic, but I think like a nice sort of dark purple kind of feel to this room. And I've kind of put in the bed and the wardrobe and everything else like that kind of really fits in there. I've got a little bit of hints of black coming through, which work really, really well. I am just pulling loads of items out. This isn't the biggest space, but I think it actually really works in here in terms of kind of it being a small build, and I think it's a little bit more realistic than kind of an overly big bedroom. Now the mum's bedroom is ridiculously large, but I think this one is probably about the right sort of size in here. So I have got kind of some makeup and like hair stuff on the floor. Now it kind of makes sense. I sit on the floor to do my hair. Even now I don't have like a chair to do it all in. I sit on the floor to do it. So it kind of made sense for me to put that all down there, and yeah, that's kind of what I just wanted in here. Just kind of got like a nice little kind of studying chair down here as well, which you can go and sort of sit on with some books on her bed and maybe her headphones for noise cancelling, things like that as well for her studying. And then a huge big wall of windows. So I thought this room needed a little bit of lightening up in here, so I've placed some white curtains, kind of very different to what I was thinking in here, but it just sort of changes the colour scheme up nicely. And now I go for this big picture kind of mural on here. Now this technically is downstairs. So normally you would thought I would have just lifted it up with tool mod, but I don't have that installed at the moment because it's not been updated, so I kind of had to improvise and just move it up in game, which yeah, was okay. It was a little bit problematic to what I wanted, but anyway, we got it in there, and here we now are in the kids' bedroom. So I figured a really nice kind of loft bed in here, again with a pink, this time a little softer kind of colour-wise in here as well. And we're just getting in a few little toys. I love this new kind of hanging plant. My only problem with it is that it has to be attached to the wall, and that in theory is great, but it made it quite difficult to actually use, and so you often sort of see I've had to kind of trick and move it around a little bit. But yeah, we are coming up to the end of this build, so if you have enjoyed it, then please give a big thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on pretty much all of the social medias. The links to all of those is down in my link tree down below, so make sure to check all of those out as well. If you have any ideas, any suggestions for any builds or anything like that, let me know, and yeah, we might end up doing one of those. But I think for now, I will leave you with all of the screenshots, and I will see you again next time. Until then, alright, bye everyone!